Friday effect, I can see. Okay, great, no problem. All right, so now online students are able to hear me. Okay, great. So friends, today we should be starting with a brand new concept, okay, called as strings. Arrays is over, now we are going to start with strings, okay. So everybody should focus. Now let us assume, like this I'll just go and I will show this particular elements on the board. Now if I were to ask you, tell me, is this characters or is this strings? What would your answer be? Characters. Yes? But unfortunately, Java, as a human being, when you look, easily you will be like, this is a character, this is a character, this is a character, this is a character. But unfortunately, Java, which is a programming language, cannot look at characters and identify them as characters unless you do one extra step. Can you tell me what is that extra step? Not double quotes. Think again. Very good. You have to enclose it within single quotes. So in a programming language like Java, what is a character? A character is something which is enclosed within single quotes. Hope you understand. It can be alphabets, uppercase, lowercase. It can be special characters like @ hash, percentage, dollar. It can be comma, question mark, greater than, lesser than, colon, semicolon. It can also be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 digits also. Point is, you put it inside single quotes, it is a character. Understood? And that is what I am also showing here. So basically, what is a character? A character is a value which is enclosed within single quotes. Similarly, now if I were to ask you, is this a character or a string? String. What about this? A string. What about this? String. Okay, very good. Now again, as a human being, you are telling string. But if you ask the same question to Java, Java will not consider this as a string. Can you tell me, if Java should consider this as a string, what is the extra thing I should do? Very good. So basically, a string in Java is a series of characters which is enclosed within double quotes. That, my friends, is the definition of a string. So if anybody asks you what is a string, you should be able to answer. So a string is a series of characters which is enclosed within double quotes. Same is the case here. Clear till here? Okay. Sir, next what? Next what means, now please try to understand. What happened is, the person who created Java, that is James Gosling, what he did is, he saw that yes, there are strings in the world, but the strings is further divided into two types in the world. What do you mean, sir? Please understand, in this world he observed, there are two types of strings. Two types. What two types of strings, sir, you may ask? Now, don't you think all these are also strings, what I showed you, all names also? Okay, point is, he saw that in the world, there is something called as immutable strings and there is something called as mutable strings. Sir, we didn't understand. What do you mean by immutable, mutable? Okay. These are hi-fi words. Basically in English, mutation means change. What is the meaning of mutation? Change. Immutable means non-changeable. Mutable means changeable. So basically James Gosling observed, in this world there are strings. My name, your name, institute name, everything is strings only. But in that there are two types. One which can change, one which cannot change. Okay, if you don't believe me, let's take an example and help you understand even more. Let's start with immutable strings. Okay, now try to understand. The Best example I can give you for an immutable string is probably gender of a person. Male, female, strings only. Changeable or non-changeable? Some are thinking, again I am asking you, changeable or non-changeable? It is not like today you are male, tomorrow morning you will wake up and suddenly your gender changes and you become a female, such a thing does not happen. I hope you are able to understand. Sir, it happens, sir, you may say. Correct. In this world today, anything is possible. But 99.9% of the cases, the gender you are born with is the gender you die with. Yes or no? Okay. Is this much clear to all of you? Okay, sir. So, gender is an immutable string. One more example I can give you is probably related to, date of birth. Date of birth. Think and answer. Some of you will be thinking, how is date of birth a string, sir? See, very simple. If I were to go and say like this, okay, 10 March and some, 2002, like this if I tell. Don't you think this is also a string only? 100% I can put it within double quotes. Now tell me, date of birth, changeable or non-changeable? Non-changeable, because it is fixed. 2 dates in your life is fixed. One you know, one you don't know, but it is fixed only. Am I clear? Okay. Fine, sir. Next what? Next what means, one more example that I can give you. Okay, fine. Okay. One more example that I can give you is related to name. Tell me, name, changeable or non-changeable? Non-changeable. Again, some will be like, no sir, I can change it. I believe in numerology, sir. Because I was not getting placed, I went to my numerologist. They told, because name is starting with R only, I am not getting placed. He told, make it A, you will get placed. There are people who do this, yes or no? Or some people change their surname post-marriage. So many, different cases are there. But again, I am saying, in 99% of the cases, name is fixed. Correct or not? Okay. So I hope you have been able to understand the meaning of what do you mean by immutable strings. Yes or no? Okay. Great, sir. Next what? Next what means, now let's look at the other type of strings, which I am calling as mutable strings. Okay. So anyways, for immutable, I have given you 3 examples: gender, date of birth, name. Clear till here? Okay. Now let's look at the other one, mutable. Example for mutable that I can give you is password. In every website, you have a login, you have a password. Yes or no? Tell me, password, should it be changeable or non-changeable? 100% you should be able to change, because so many things can happen. You may forget your password, which is the most common thing that happens. Yes, nowadays websites automatically remember your login. After 6 months, when you change your computer or something, you will not even remember what is your password. That time you should be able to change it. Or let us assume you are at home, you are logging into Instagram and your father is standing next to you. That day 100% you want to change your password. Yes or no? So there are n number of cases, but most certainly password has to be changeable. Clear till here? One more example I can give you is probably email address. Think logically and answer. Is the email address of a person going to be fixed throughout his or her life? No chance. Especially official email addresses. Because these are the type of email addresses which the company that you are working for will provide to you. But it will only be valid till the day you are working in the company. If you change company, so does your email. Yes or no? Correct, sir. We understood. Next one. One more example that I can probably provide is months. Tell me, is months fixed or is it changeable? 100% changeable. Let us assume in your program you have one variable called as month. Should its value be fixed? No. As month is changing, value should change. Correct or not? So I hope each and every one of you understood. I have given you again 3 examples. Password, email address, months. Yes? You just look around you. 100% you will also find n number of strings whose value can change. You will also find equal number of strings whose value does not change. Immutable, mutable. Clear till here? Okay. Which means, if in the real world there are 2 types of strings, 100% in Java also, you have two types of strings. One being immutable and the other being mutable. Clear? Now how to create this is what I should show you. But please try to understand whether it is, and again, I have given you name as an example, date of birth, gender. There I have given you email address, I have given you password, and I have given you months. Irrespective, all of these are strings only. They are strings, correct? Now listen to me. In Java, strings are what? Objects. They are objects. If a string is an object and you really have understood object orientation, I have one question to you. If you want to create an object, first there should be something created. Only then you can create the object. What should be there first? Class. New keyword is the way to create a string. But before creating an object, first what should be there? Class. Because every object belongs to a class. Yesterday I created an object of student. First I have to create class student. If I am creating an object of car, I should first create class car. Similarly, now you want to create a string. Obviously for string also there should be a class. But now in strings there are two types. One is mutable and immutable. So which class to create, sir? Please understand. If you are going to create immutable strings or non-changeable, you must make use of a class in Java called as string class. There is a class called as string, which we will be using. Sir, what if I want to create mutable strings? This, when I am teaching you mutable strings, I will introduce it. But first, today I want to completely focus on what type of strings now? Immutable strings. For that, which class am I going to use? String class. Clear till here? Okay. Now, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I am going to speak about some theory. But it is not theory. When I write code, you will understand everything. But these points should be there in your mind. Okay? Listen and don't forget. First of all, long back only I have told you, in our computer we have our microprocessor. We also have our hard disk. Most certainly we also have our RAM. Correct? Now listen to me carefully. What I would now like all of you to understand is, long back only I have told you, hard disk is connected to RAM, RAM is connected to microprocessor. The program which you have saved will always be inside the hard disk. But if this program should execute, it should get loaded onto the RAM. In the RAM, please understand, one region is created for this program called as JRE or Java Runtime Environment. Further divided into 4 parts. Code segment, you have your static segment, you have your heap segment, you have your stack segment. This also everybody knows. Now think logically and answer. I told you strings are objects. If strings are objects, where do you think memory is allocated? Objects are always created in the heap, which means strings are created inside the heap. Point number 1. Next, now that you understood this, I am just keeping it here. Because strings are created in heap, I am only showing the heap segment. I am only showing the heap. Now listen to me carefully. In this heap segment, please understand, 100% objects are created, strings are also created. But inside this heap segment, what Java people have done is, they have created one special region called as string constant pool. One region they have created. Okay? Now what happens is, when you create strings in Java, sometimes string will get created inside this. Sometimes strings will get created outside this. Whether it is inside this or outside this, ultimately heap only. But inside heap there is one special region called as string constant pool. If you really want to understand strings, first thing you must learn is, when does memory for strings get created? Here. And when does memory for strings get created? Here. That is what first you must understand. Am I clear? Okay, sir. Can you tell us, sir, when it is created here and when it is created there? It will be really good. Very simple. Just keep this in mind. Strings are created in the string constant pool when they are created without using new. What it means you will understand. However, strings are created outside the string constant pool whenever they are created using new. So just keep in mind, constant pool means when? Without using new. Outside constant pool is when? Using new. Am I clear till here? Second thing you must understand is, this region has one special property. One special property it has. What is the special property, sir? Special property is, boss, duplicates are not allowed. Which means Java, you can't create two strings. Python, you can't create two strings. Duplicate is not allowed. Clear? Okay, sir. What about this area, sir? Here there is no such restriction. It is telling 100% duplicates are allowed. No problem. Am I clear till here? Is this much clear to you? Okay, sir. I hope this point keep in mind all of you. Fine. Now, theory is not over. Little bit more we should listen. Okay. Now, next what I want you to understand is, first of all, before I come here. Now, what I want you to understand is, first, there are basically different ways to create strings. There are different ways to create strings. What are these different ways to create strings, sir, you may ask? There are three ways. I am showing you one by one. First way, all of you should observe. First way is, let us assume you want to create one string called as Java, like this. And string means double quotes. One way to create it is, boss, you just go, directly give this a reference. I will call it as yes. And yes can be of type string. Now look at this and tell me, have I used new keyword to create it? No. This is the meaning of without using new. Clear till here? Okay, sir. What is the second way to create a string? Second way to create a string is, first tell new. JVM gets activated. Which class is object to create, sir? String class is object. Understood? Open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. Inside these brackets you go and you tell whichever string you want to create. Am I clear till? 100% you should give this also a reference. I will call it as yes. Obviously, yes has to be of type string. That is what I am trying to say. There are two ways. Using new, without using new. In both cases, you are creating object only. But they have given us two ways. One is using new, one is without using new. Clear till here? Okay, sir. Actually speaking, there is one third way also, but it is not really a new way. Try to understand. The third way is saying, boss, you do one thing. First, those who came to class yesterday, I taught you a technique in which you can create and initialize an array in a single line. Have I taught you that? Now watch it. Tell me, how do you create and initialize an array in a single line? What bracket should I put? Flower brackets. So first I will put flower brackets like this. And inside these flower brackets, I will now tell J, A, V, A. In other words, I have created an array of characters. I have created an array of characters. This is also possible. Correct? I will give this a reference. I am going to call this reference as maybe C. What is C? A one-dimensional array storing what? Characters. Yes or no? Now, I want to convert this array to a string. I want to convert the array to a string. How will you convert, sir? Very simple. I will tell new, JVM gets activated. I will tell the name of the class. Name of the class is string. Now within these brackets, what I will do is, I will take this C and I will pass it like this. I will take this C and pass it. Understood? Now what will happen, sir? Now Java will look. It will see this is an array of characters. It will combine all these characters together and convert it into a string. Am I clear? Okay, sir. Next what? Next what means I will be giving this a reference. I will call the reference as maybe yes. Yes has to be of type string. Hope you understood. So basically, mainly there are two ways. Without using new, using new. If you use new, directly you can give string, or you can also give an array of characters. That is your wish. Is this much clear to all of you? I hope this part everybody has been able to understand. Okay? First part of theory. Also, please understand different ways to create what type of strings. What type of strings are these, sir? These are nothing but immutable strings. Never forget, I am now teaching you about immutable strings. Clear till here? Let's keep the first part of the theory aside. One more point you should learn. Then we can start coding. What is the next point, sir? Next point is you must understand what are the different ways to compare strings. What are the different ways to compare strings? What do you mean by different ways to compare strings? There are 4 ways. Let us assume you have 2 strings, Java, Java. You want to compare them. How to compare? First option is you can use one operator called as double equal to. Second way is you can use a method called as equals. Third way is you can use a method called as equals ignore case. Last one is you can use one more method called as compare to. Totally how many ways? 4 ways. Double equal to operator. We have used it pattern programming and all. Is I equal to 1? We have done it, yes or no? Double equal to operator. Second one is equals method. Equals ignore case method. Compare to method. Am I clear till here? Now, sir, what will double equal to do, sir? Just remember this much. Double equal to will compare strings based on reference. It will compare strings based on reference. Equals method will compare strings based on its values. Third one, equals ignore case also, it will compare based on values. But it ignores case. When I say case, uppercase, lowercase. Understood? Last and final compare to will basically compare strings character by character. Character by character. I know none of this makes sense, but just store it somewhere in your mind. When now I write my first program, everything will become clear. Okay? If this much is clear, very simple. 3 points you should have not forgot. If I have to just quickly give you a recap. We learned that a string is a series of characters enclosed within double quotes. We understood we have 2 types of strings in Java. Immutable, mutable. Non-changeable, changeable. We also understood that strings in Java are objects. We have started our discussion with immutable strings, non-changeable. And for that we need a class called as a string class. There are mainly 2 ways to create strings. Without using new, using new. Their strings are allocated memory inside the heap segment. In the heap there is one region called a string constant pool. Memory is allocated there when you create a string without using new. If you use new, it is created outside the string constant pool. There are 4 ways to compare strings. Double equal to, equals, equals ignore case, compare to. Is this much clear to all of you? If this is clear, I am now going to go and write my first program. This is very important. Everybody should focus. Okay? Now watch this. Now I am just bringing my stack segment. I am bringing my heap segment. Inside the heap we have string constant pool. I am just showing like this. Of course, static segment is there. I am not showing it. This is my code segment. Okay? Now everybody should focus. Inside the code segment what will be there? Code will be there. Now this is my program's code. I will start by creating one class called as demo. Inside that I have my main method. Now focus. Here I want to create a string. Let us assume I will create a string like this, Java. I will give this a reference. I will call it as S1. S1 obviously has to be of type string. Okay? Can I create a string like this? Yes. No problem. Okay, sir. Next what? Now I will create one more string like this. Java only. I will give this a reference. I will call it as S2. S2 is going to be of type string. Is this 2 lines clear to all of you? But what every student must understand is not these two lines. What he or she should understand is the memory. Clear? Everybody should focus. Execution begins from main. Control enters. First line assignment RHS. Double quotes means Java knows string. Java knows strings are objects and it should be created inside the heap segment. But the confusion for Java is, should it create it inside constant pool or outside constant pool? This is the only confusion. Now you should help Java clear the confusion. Where should it allocate memory? Inside constant pool. Why do you say inside constant pool? Without using new you have created. And hence it will go inside the constant pool and create a brand new string like this. And if you notice, a string looks similar to an array only. It also has indexes. Clear? A string is an object. Object will always have an address. I am assuming the address to be 1000. It can be anything. Clear till here? Okay sir, very good. RHS is over. Now control comes to LHS. Think logically and answer. Where are references created? Stack segment. Like that S1 gets created. Understood? What is a reference? It is a variable which stores the address of an object. What is the address of an object? 1000. 1000 comes and sits here. S1 is now referring to that. I think everybody understood. Clear till here? Okay sir, first line is clear. Now let me see how well you have understood. Control comes to the next line. Again assignment RHS. Double quotes means string. Tell me, constant pool or outside constant pool? Constant pool. Why? Without using new. Now think logically and answer. Will one more Java get created? Yes or no? Why do you say no? Because in the theory I told you, this constant pool has one property. It does not allow duplicates. Correct? So, what will happen, sir? Will error come, sir? No. What Java will do is, hey, already there is a string called as Java. Let's not create a duplicate. I will take this same address, 1000, and I will give it to S2. Tell me, where will S2 get created? Stack. References are always created in the stack. That 1000 will come and sit inside S2, which means S2 also is going to refer to the same string. Clear? Now only those who are revising can answer. Can one object have two references? Yes. Long back reference type assignment I have taught you. Object can be one, references can be many. Correct or not? Which means when these two lines executed, that is what our program looks like. Clear? Now I want to execute this and show you. So what I will do is, I'll just go, starting from today, I will be using one editor called as Eclipse in class. And I hope all of you are already using Eclipse. In LMS first video only we have told you how to download, install, use. Okay. Now watch it carefully. Inside Eclipse, I will just now go and tell string type S1 equal to within double quotes Java. Next, string type S2 within double quotes I will again tell Java. Clear? This would have happened in the memory. Now, how can I prove to you that this is the memory? I have to now compare. So what I should do is, I want to now compare references. Check whether the address inside S1 and address inside S2 are same. If it is same, 100% it is proof to you that S1 and S2 are the same. Correct or not? Now those who have been listening in class tell me, how do I compare references of strings? Double equal to operator. Yes or no? Which means, see how I will type this code. Everybody should focus. I will now tell S1 double equal to S2. Now, double equal to is a logical operator. Yes, which means it will only result in one of two values, true or false, yes or no. Correct? So what I will do is, whatever it gives me, I will directly go and put it inside an if condition. Which means, If it is true, true. If it is false, false. If it is true, whatever is inside if block I will execute. If it is false, whatever is inside else block I will execute. If and else. Am I clear? Okay, sir. If it is true, what you will do, sir? I want to print one message. Values are equal. References are equal. Because address is the same. So what will you do, sir? Like this I will tell system.out.println. Within double quotes I will tell references are equal. Just one message. Clear? But if it becomes false, I will come to else part. In else part I will paste this and I will tell references are unequal or not equal. Am I clear? Now you must logically think. 2 lines executed, so much happened. Control comes here. S1 double equal to S2. Double equal to will compare references. What is there inside references are addresses. So it will compare addresses. Tell me what is the address of S1? 1000. Address of S2? 1000. Equal or unequal? Equal. Equal means true. True means if. Correct? And what should be the message? References are equal. Agreed? If I just go and if I were to execute this, you can clearly see references are equal. Let me just drag it a little aside. I hope everybody agrees with me. Yes? And the advantage of Eclipse is no need to do any command Java, C, Java, all that is not required. One button you press, execution. Yeah. Clear till here? Okay. Okay, sir. Next, let me see how many of you are able to think. I will now want to compare values. I want to now compare values. How to compare values, sir? Very, very simple. Those who are focusing in class tell me, how do I compare values of 2 strings? Very good. Because I told you that there are different ways to compare, and one of the ways to compare strings is a method called as equals. And what does equals compare? Values. Yes or no? Now, how do you use equals method? See, try to understand. First of all, when you create a string, strings in Java are nothing but objects. Strings in Java are objects. This is the address. This is the reference. Correct? Now, every object has 2 parts. What it has, what it does. Has means data. Yes? And what is the data of the string? Java. Basically, that is only the data. The data is nothing but Java, like this. J, A, V, A. 0, 1, 2, 3. But because a string is an object, it also has does part. What is does part? Methods. Inside every string object, you will find methods. Which you didn't create, I didn't create. Automatically it is created. Because that string class only you and me didn't create. Yes or no? Sir, what are those methods, sir? So many methods are there. In that, one of the methods is a method called as equals. If you have understood, tell me how to access equals. How to access equals? S1 dot equals. I think you understand. Am I clear? So watch it carefully. If that is true, I will just go here. See here? Come to the next line. Everybody should focus. S1 dot. And I will call one method called as equals. Equals to whom, sir? S2. That also you should tell, who do you want to compare with? So what this means is, take the value of S1, check whether the value is equal to S2. And you know, S1's value is also Java only, S2's value is also Java. Correct? And everybody knows, methods, there are 4 types of methods. One which doesn't take input, doesn't give output, takes input, no output, takes output, no input, all that you know. Point is, equals is a method which will take input also and return output also. Am I clear? Sir, what output will it return, sir? Either true or false. If it is equal, true. If it is not equal, false. So what you can do is, I'll just put a semicolon here. Whatever it returns, I will collect it inside a variable called as result. Type of result has to be Boolean. Yes or no? Now in the next line I will go, and what I will do is, I will tell if in case. And what I will do is, I will just pass result. If result is true, if part will execute. If result is false, else part will execute. That's all. Am I clear? And now what I am going to just go and do here is, if result is true, I will come here and print one message within double quotes. I will tell values are equal. Clear? But if it is not true, that is false, I will come here and tell values are unequal. Is this much clear to all of you? If you want, you can do all this, or one more easy way is, you just take this method, directly paste it here. Because now what will happen is, S1 dot equals S2. If it returns true, true. If it returns false, false. That is also possible. So if you don't want to store it inside a variable and then pass, this way also you can write. Am I clear? Anyways, I will just stick to this. I'll delete this. I hope everybody understood. Okay, sir. Now, please tell me, if I compare the values, will they be equal or unequal? Equal. Equal means true or false? True. True means if or else? If. You should get that the values are equal. And if I execute, most certainly you can see references are also equal. Values are also equal. I think you understood. Hence, whatever theory that I said for the first 10 to 15 minutes, I hope clarity you have got. Yes? Now, if this much is clear to you, then the next example is going to give you 10 times more clarity. Let me see how many of you will be able to answer. Observe this. I'll just remove this. Now, again, I need my stack, I need my heap, I have my string pool, all that. Now, this is my code. Watch it. This is my class, this is my main method. Observe this. Inside this I will go. I'll create a string like this. Double quotes Java. I'll give this a reference, S1. S1 is going to be of type string. Very good. Now observe carefully. Again I'll create one more string like this. New followed by string like this. And within those brackets, within double quotes, I will create one more string called as Java. I'll give this a reference, I'll call it as S2. Naturally S2 has to be of type string. I hope this much also everybody understood. Now let me see how well you have understood. Execution begins from main. Control goes inside. First line assignment RHS. Double quotes means Java no string. Java no string should be created inside heap. But inside heap, inside constant pool or outside constant pool is only the confusion. Where should it create? Inside constant pool. Reason, without using new. Brand new string gets created. Understood? New string will have a new address. That address is taken, given to the LHS. In the LHS, I am creating a reference called as S1. 1000 goes and sits inside S1. This is referring to this same as last time. Same as last time. Now tell me, next line, assignment RHS. Double quotes means string. It knows it should create it in heap. Now tell me, inside constant pool or outside constant pool? Outside constant pool. Why outside constant pool? Using new. Correct? Now tell me, outside constant pool, can I create one more Java? Yes. If it was inside only, duplicate. Outside, no issues. 100% it will create a brand new string called as Java. New string will always have a new address. I am assuming it to be 2000. Clear till here? Now RHS is over. It will take that address, give it to the LHS. In LHS, what are you creating? Reference. Where are references created? Stack. S2 gets created like that. That 2000 goes and sits inside S2. S2 is referring to the string. I hope you understand. So, this is the memory for the second example. Now I want you to focus. If really what I am telling you is true, watch this. I'll just go back to Eclipse, and in Eclipse, I will only make one change in my program. This second string, I will now make it as new string like this. Understood? Now, memory also would have changed. Now focus. Come to the first if block. S1 double equal to S2. What will double equal to compare? References. What is the value inside S1? 1000. What is the value inside S2? 2000. Equal or unequal? Unequal. Unequal means false. False means else. I should get references are unequal. Yes. If references are unequal, it is proof to you that this is a separate object, this is a separate object. So now there are two Javas in your memory. Correct or not? Okay sir, next what? Next what means I will now come down and I will compare values. Tell me, equals method compares values. What is the value of S1? Java. What is the value of S2? Java. Equal or unequal? Equal. Equal means true. True means if values are equal. Which means output should be references are unequal, values are equal. And hence, if in case I come here and execute, that is exactly the output you have got. But you only logically think, as a student who does not learn programming by memory, who doesn't understand programming through memory. Now, last time also programmer created two Javas, but references were equal. This time also programmer has created two Javas. References are unequal. How should a student understand? Correct or not? Because none of this is visible to the eyes. Not visible. That is why people feel programming is difficult. It really is not. If you understand memory, everything becomes clear. Understood till here? Okay, sir. This is also clear to all of us. Next what? Okay. So I think more and more clarity about that theory, step by step, everybody is able to get. Now, I want to show you how this works. Okay. Let me see how many of you are able to answer. So here now, observe this. Class, main, all that is there. Fine. Now see, first I am going to create a string like this. I am going to now go and tell new string. I will be creating one string inside this. I will call it as Java. Next I will give it a reference. I will call it as S1. Obviously S1 has to be of type string. Good. Next I will create one more string by telling new string like this. I will also create the string. I will call the string as Java only. I will give this a reference. I will call it as S2. S2 has to be of type string. Now if you have understood, you should help me with the memory. Control comes to first line, assignment RHS. Where will this string get created? Outside constant pool, without using new. Brand new string gets created. It will have an address. That address is taken and given to the reference. References are created in the stack. That is referring to this. I think this everybody has understood. Now tell me, next line, assignment RHS. Again you are creating a string. Tell me, constant pool or outside constant pool? Now think and answer. Will one more Java get created? Yes or no? Yes, 100% answer is yes. Because duplicates are allowed. Only here it is not allowed. Correct? So, one brand new string gets created. New string will have a new address. That address is taken and given to the LHS, which is S2. 2000 goes. That is now referring to this. I think you understand. Clear? If really what I am saying is true, then only the code will be able to give you the necessary clarity. So observe this. I'll just come here now. I'll make only one change. Even the first fellow also I will make it as new string. Clear till here? Now you should help me. Tell me, if I compare references, equal or unequal? Unequal. True or false? False. If or else? Else. References are unequal. Tell me, if I compare values, equal or unequal? Equal. Equal means true. True means if values are equal. Which means, if I execute 100%, references are unequal, values are equal. And as a programmer, whenever you see reference is not equal, but values are equal, you should immediately know there is duplicate. Simple. Value is same, address is not same. Means what? Duplicate. That's clear till here. I hope everyone has understood this much. Okay, sir. So, if this is also clear to all of you, let me see how you are going to understand the next example. Here now, this is again my stack, heap, all that is fine. I'll come here. In my code segment, this is my class main method, all that is okay. Observe this. What I'm now going to do is, I'll create a string like this, Java. Give this a reference, yes1. Yes1 is going to be of type string. Again, I'm going to create one more string. I'll call it as Java. I will be giving this a reference, yes2. Yes2 is going to be of type string. Now, I am going to give you 2 minutes time. Just visualize the memory in your mind. And tell me, if I compare references, what should be my output? If I compare values, what should be my output? Just think for 2 minutes in your mind. Okay, right. Tell me, if I compare references, equal or unequal? Unequal? Equal, okay. If I compare values, unequal or equal? So, there is unequal, there is equal, and of course, there is my favorite category of people who don't care whatever happens, no problem for them, okay. Now, listen to me carefully. See, first line is very clear. Assignment RHS. You are creating a string called as Java. Using new or without using new? Without using new. Constant pool or outside constant pool? Inside the constant pool. Most certainly Java gets created like this. It will have an address. That address is taken, given to the reference. References are created on the stack and 1000 goes inside S1. This is now referring to this. Correct, sir. Understood. Now tell me, next line, assignment RHS. You are again creating a string called as Java without using new. Without using new. Everybody knows constant pool. Now the question is, inside constant pool, will one more Java get created? Yes or no? Yes. Some are saying yes, some are saying no. Those who are saying no are like, sir, duplicate is not allowed. You only told 2 Javas I can't create. I agree with you. But that is not a duplicate. Why? Because the first one is uppercase and lowercase. Second one is all uppercase. Please understand, for a human being, this and this are the same. Because human beings are not case sensitive. We are case insensitive. Yes or no? If you didn't understand, let us assume, while teaching, some fellow is talking and I get irritated. Okay, so I'll turn back and I'll see who's talking, and I find one fellow, always many people will be talking, but only one fellow will become the bakara. Okay, now I'll hold that one fellow and I'll say stand up, and I'll be like, hey idiot, why are you talking? Now tell me, will that person ask me back, sir, uppercase idiot or lowercase idiot? Will anybody ask? Nobody cares. Because human beings are not case sensitive. But programming languages are case sensitive. Java is case sensitive. Because please try to understand, for you these are characters. But for programming language, they are ASCII values. Yes or no? I've already taught you ASCII concept. Tell me, What is small a in ASCII? 97. What is capital A in ASCII? 65. How can 97 and 65 be the same? It is not the same. Correct or not? If it is not the same, Java will not treat it as the same. And hence, this is not a duplicate. Most certainly, one more Java gets created. It will have an address. That address is taken and given to the reference. 2000 comes inside S2. This is referring to this. I hope you understand. So those who said, no, it will not get created, I hope you understood why it got created. And those who first only told, yes sir, one more Java will get created, you already have understood it correctly, that Java is most certainly case sensitive. Clear till here? Now, all I need to do is prove this to you. How can I prove this to you? Very, very easily I can prove it. All I need to do is go to my program, make just two changes. First change is, within double quotes I will tell, capital J, everything else small. Second change is, I will go here and I will make a string which is all caps. Clear? Now tell me, if I compare references, equal or unequal? Unequal. Unequal means else, and I will get references are unequal. Tell me, when I compare values, equal or unequal? Unequal. And hence, for the first time in today's class, values are not equal. So condition is false. False means else. You should get values are unequal. So references also are not equal. Values also are not equal. Clear? Let me see how this is going to work. So if I go here and execute, references are unequal, values are unequal. Works. Is this much clear to each and every one of you? Okay. However, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but email addresses are strings. Email addresses are strings. Now, in strings, I don't know if you ever tried it. Let us assume you take my email ID, go to Gmail, type it in all caps. Rohit@theTapAcademy.com is my email address. Okay, so if you want to email me, please email me. Okay, so 100%, if you type all caps and send also, I will receive. If you put upper, lower and send also, I will receive. If you put all lower also and send also, I will receive. Because Gmail has made its email IDs in such a way that it is not case sensitive. It is not. Am I clear? So now imagine. You are creating a login form. Somebody came, put their email address. It is case insensitive. Password, case insensitive or sensitive? Password should 100% be sensitive. So please understand, if I am comparing two passwords, and if this is uppercase and this is lowercase, it should say no, not equal. But if I am comparing two email addresses, I hope you will understand. Example, I will just go here now and I will tell Rohit@theTapAcademy.com. This is one. Next, I will just copy this here. I will paste it here. And here, I will make this as all capital like this. Am I clear till here? Now, in this case, when Gmail compares this and this, should it say equal or unequal? It should say equal, because case sensitivity does not matter. Correct or not? For password it matters. For email address it should not matter. But here, imagine in Gmail, now they go and they compare both the values. 100% it will tell that it is not equal, and if in case I execute it here, watch it, it is now going to tell values are unequal. Now this is a problem. So what if sometimes you want the values to be compared, but you don't care about case? Only thing you should care about is, are characters the same? That's all. It can be upper, it can be lower. Now what to do? That is why there are many ways to compare strings. Technically there are 4 ways. One is double equal to. One more is equals. Can you remember and tell me what is the third one? Equals, ignore case. Yes or no? Name only tells, boss, I am equals method. I will compare values, but I will ignore the case. Correct? So please understand, there are many methods inside every string. There are many methods. One method is equals. One more method that they have provided is called as equals ignore case, which I am just showing like this. Equals ignore case. Understood? Tell me how to access equals ignore case. S1 dot equals ignore case. Same thing. So I will just go here now, remove this equals method and tell S1 dot equals ignore case like this. Ignore case, and who should I compare it with? S2. Same. This time, if I execute this program, 100% references are unequal only. But when I compare values, values are going to be equal. And if I execute, you can see values are equal. Clear till here? So, sometimes string should be compared based on case. Sometimes string should be compared without taking into consideration case or ignoring the case. Clear? Okay. Okay, sir. So basically, in just around 50 minutes time or 1 hour time, what I've been able to explain to you is what is a string, what are the two types of strings, right? We started with immutable strings, which class to use to create immutable strings, the different ways to create it, different ways to compare it, where memory is allocated. I hope you have been able to understand. Clear till here? If this much is clear to all of you, let me see, let me just change this back to Java and this as Java. Fine. Now the next example, if you have understood this in a second, you should be able to answer. What if this is how it was? Okay. So I have all this, I have my code segment, all this I have. Okay, now watch it. I'll create a string Java like this. I'll give it a reference S1. S1 is going to be of type string. Next, I'll create one string like this. Okay, quickly think in your mind and tell me reference if I compare what happens, values if I compare what happens. Yes. Tell me, if I compare references, equal or unequal? Unequal. Very good. If I compare values using equals method, equal or unequal? Unequal. If I compare using equals ignore case method? Because memory wise, everybody knows, first string will be most certainly created inside constant pool. That is the address. This is the reference. Address goes and sits inside reference, that is referring to this. Second string is created using new. It is created outside the constant pool. Most certainly it will have its own address. It will be created and and after which it will have its address. That address is now stored inside S2 and they have not shown that. I am very sorry. Okay, but anyways, you know it. Okay. So if I just were to come here now. Please observe this. Where is Eclipse? Right. If I just change this to say Java, change this to new string like this. And if in case I were to compile and execute, observe, if I compare references, most certainly it is unequal. If I compare values using equals method, values also should not be equal. And if I were to execute, both references are unequal, values are unequal. But if I just go here, make this as equals ignore case. And if in case I were to execute it, this is also clear. Understood? Okay. That's it. So I feel a good grip on strings you have got as an introduction. Correct? Now, if you observe, certain things I want to speak about is, if you observe this, you see how we are writing this method name. Can you tell me what is this convention called as? Anyone knows? This is called as camel case convention. What this means is, in Java, all programmers have decided that, boss, while writing Java program, we will follow some standards or convention. It is not a rule. If you don't follow also, Java will work. If you follow also, Java will work. But if you follow it, you will get a job. If you don't follow it, you will not get a job. So it is your wish, okay? So please try to understand what are the conventions. Very simple. First convention is class name should always begin with a capital letter. That is why string is also a class name. It starts with a capital letter. Scanner is also a class name. Yes, starts with a capital letter. Understood? Now let us assume the class name has two words. Example, electric car. I want to create a class called as electric car. How to create it? Simple. Go here and tell class first word should always start with capital. Now if you have two words, second word's first letter also should be starting with capital. Am I clear till here? So see, electric is one word, car is another word. Here also first letter is capital, here also first letter is capital. Clear till here? Okay. That is with respect to class names. Class name should always begin with capital. Now, when it comes to method names, if method name starts with or has only one word, it should always be all lowercase. I hope you able to understand. It should always all be lowercase. Let us example. Let us assume I am creating one method called as reverse, which is used to reverse a string. Because it has only one word, it is all going to be small. If let us assume I want to give the method name as reverse string, then tell me how many words are there? Two words. Now first word should all be small. Second word first letter should be capital. Am I clear? Let us assume I want to create a method for this AC called as blows cold air. Blows cold air. How to create, sir? Very simple. I should go here, voids here. First word all small. Second word first letter capital, remaining small. Third word first letter capital, remaining small. Blows cold air. Am I clear? This is only called as camel case convention. I hope you are able to understand. Different languages follow different conventions. For example, if this was Python, we don't follow this. In Python, they use something called as snake case convention. What do they use? Snake case. You are laughing, but that is literally the word, snake case. If this was snake case, see how to write. This will also be small, but in between two words you should put underscore. Understood? Similarly, this will also be small, but you should separate with an underscore. This also will be small, but you should separate with an underscore. If you use camel case in Python also, it will work. If you use snake case in Java also, it will work. I hope you will understand, because it is not a rule. It is a convention. Everybody is following, so we should also follow. That's all it is. Am I clear? Okay, sir. What else, sir? What else means? Then, coming to variable names. Variable names also follows the same convention as method names. For example, let us assume I want to create one variable name called as has completed assignment, true or false. For example, in our Thai platform, you have different modules. I want to keep track whether you have finished assignment or not. So what I will do is, I will create one Boolean variable and I will call it as has completed assignment. Understood? This will either be true or it will be false. If you notice, this also follows the same camel case. Okay, understand? So for both variable names and method names, the convention remains the same. Again, you must not by heart these things. You must just observe. As we are coding, we will anyways follow conventions. As you are using built-in classes and methods, they would have also followed convention. Watch it. For example, this method, did we create it? No. Who has created it? James Gosling. Where is this method, sir? It is inside one class called as string class. Now, if you want to see this method, in Eclipse, what you should do is click on control. Click on control. Take the mouse over the method. Automatically one underline comes. Are you able to see this? Now just click on it. It will open the method. This is only equals ignore case method. Hope you are able to understand. And see how they have maintained convention. This is a variable name. See how they have maintained convention. Another string. First letter all small, second letter capital, remaining small. Clear? And sir, where is this method, sir? This method, my friends, is only inside one class called as the string class. It is inside a class called as string. Who created this string class? James Gosling and team have created and given to us. We are only using it. Understood what I am saying? Similarly, see, if you want to see, if I were to use this method, equals. If I just press control, click on it, it took me to equals method. Where is this equals method? That is also inside a class called as string class. I hope you have understood. Clear till here? So basically, what is a class? Collection of properties and behaviors, data types and methods. Whenever you create an object of a class, inside that object you will have two parts, has part, does part. Inside the does part of every string object, you have n number of methods. So many methods are there. I hope you are able to understand. All this you don't have to code, you just have to use. Clear till here? Okay, sir. Fine, sir. Understood. Next one. So, I hope this much clarity each and every one of you have got. Okay? So, this concludes the introduction to strings, but still strings is not over. There are many more concepts to learn, which we will do it on Monday's class, because I don't want to start fresh. Already strength is less, plus I cannot complete the new one in the next remaining 10 minutes. I hope this much is clear. Please go type, practice and revise. Any doubts, meet me. If not, come back for your SQL class. Thank you so much.